Hello everybody, this is Foodie. I'm doing a quick video for you guys because some things have happened recently in my family and I need to speak to my family about what's going on with our diabetes. Our family has diabetes, okay? Most of us do. I don't think there's anybody, except maybe the younger people, that don't have diabetes, so they're probably on their way to that as well, which is just sad. So I'm going to speak to something that may be upsetting to the keto people. I'm sorry, y'all can come after me if you want to. In the family, everybody talks about keto dieting and they do keto this and keto that, but usually what ends up happening is they end up quitting. Keto is hard, okay? I know I've done it at least 3 times, and all 3 times I've failed because I could not keep with it because I just didn't understand. And it's really hard to make ketones through keto. It's probably much harder than fasting. And now I'm not a doctor. I can't say that for sure. Y'all can look that up if you want to. That's fine. But what I want to say right now is there is another way to do this. A way that we can teach ourselves to control our metabolic hormones, because that's what's really happening here. The insulin is taking over, okay? So I'm going to talk to you guys about the intermittent fasting that I have started, and I want to show you this book. Not sponsored, by the way. This book is called 28-Day Fast Start, and honestly, it should be called 28-Day Detox, because that's what it feels like. But since I started using this book by Jen Stevens, by the way, the author's name is Jen Stevens, and you can get this on Walmart, Amazon, a few other places, I don't know. I don't have a link to it in my description yet. Maybe I'll do that in time, but right now I just really want you guys to try this 28-day fast start, because it is teaching me something I didn't understand about my body. My blood sugar is coming down, y'all, and I didn't realize that I was spiking my insulin on a continuous basis by what I was eating. Not because it was high in carb, and not because it was really sweet, but because I didn't understand the timing until I started looking at a CGM. I got a continuous glucose monitor for a while, and I found out something really funny I didn't know. One of the hormones that affects your sugar is cortisol, and cortisol comes from stress. And who doesn't have stress of some sort, you know? But when I was wearing my continuous glucose monitor, I realized for the first time that my stress was what was causing my blood sugar to go up. So, you know, you need to get one of those regardless. I don't care. If you only wear it for 2 weeks, fine, but you need to get it just to see what's going on for real, so you can understand. Because once you understand, you can fix it, right? I don't have that linked anywhere in my description either, but you can get a CGM from your doctor or whatever. I'm not a doctor, so I would just say this is a good tool to use to find out what's going on. Now, let's go back to this book. What really helps me in this book is it's a workbook, okay? I mean, she doesn't call it a workbook, but it's easy to read, and you write in it. Every day you write what's happening to your body and what are you thinking about, the reasons why you want to fast, the reason why you want to change your metabolic health. It's very enlightening. I have learned some things about myself. Things I already knew, but didn't know to what extent. I mean, you know, I call myself a foodie for a reason. I do eat. Anybody who knows me personally will tell you that I could eat some food. Not only on a cruise, but on everyday life, I can really eat a lot of food. And I'm not very tall. I'm only 5'2", okay? So you really can't eat a lot of food when you're this short. But let me just say, the things I have learned since I started doing this, one of the things that I've learned is, for me, in the morning, I have a specific routine. And I know everybody does this, but I wake up and I drink coffee and I relax. It's my relaxation time, okay? That is something that I didn't do very well because I would get up fairly early, about 8 o'clock I would eat. And then I would start this insulin spike situation, okay? Because I would add these sweeteners. And I gotta tell you something about sweeteners, guys. No matter what sweetener you use, artificial, natural, I don't care what it is. As soon as it hits your mouth and your brain says, that's sugar, even if it's monk fruit or stevia, your brain, your palate tells your brain to get ready to spike that insulin, okay? Nobody talks about this. This is what's messing up your diet, by the way. You don't know that, but that hormonal stuff is messing up your weight loss program, okay? Because the insulin is doing some stuff. It's storing some stuff, a lot of fat that you're trying to get rid of. But I'm not going to go into all that right now. I'm just going to say this. The reason this book is working for me is because it's telling me what's going on in my head. Because most of what limits us is between our ears. I'm saying that. That's the only degree I have in psychology. I mean, that's not advice. I'm just telling you that's what's going on with me. It's between my ears. The things that limit me, the things that keep me from pushing forward and being successful at fixing my health, it all has to do with what's going on in my head. And once you get control of what's going on in your head, or at least understand what's going on in your head, then things start to get a lot better. When you pick up something sweet, you will start to think, do I really want this? Or is this just something that was caused by the MSG in the food I ate last night? Because MSG, y'all, always check your food to make sure it doesn't have MSG in it. Because if you're fighting with weight, sweet, diabetes, metabolic issues, MSG is going to be your worst enemy because it causes cravings. And the reason I know this is because I've seen it on my CGM. I've seen it in my journal. I've written it down in this book. So be careful about that, okay? There's some things that you eat that are causing you sugar cravings and you haven't even figured it out yet. It's very enlightening, okay? When you start figuring out what the ingredients in processed foods are doing to your body, and you keep blaming yourself for what you're eating, the reality is the food is working against you, the food. Processed food is not really food, it's chemicals. If you don't believe me, just read the ingredients, okay? I just really feel at this point in my life, it is time for me to do what I do best, and that is talk. It's time for me to talk about what is going on in my family, what's going on with my friends. You know, I want to be around with you guys for many more years. I'm already 65, so, you know, I really have passed most of my life. But I want these last few years of my life to be wonderful, to be less time spent dieting and worrying about my health. And I know most of you feel the same way. So I'm coming to you from my heart at this point, okay? I want you to understand that it's time for us to take control of what's going on, especially all of us that are over 50, okay, in our family, because type 2 diabetes is real, and some of us are on insulin, and that just shouldn't even happen at this point, okay? We have a better understanding of food than we ever had in history right now. So, guys, let's do this. Let's try something different. I know that fasting sounds crazy. It sounds hard because we've been taught that not eating is bad. And the reality is everybody fasts. Everybody fasts. I mean, you fast from the moment you stop eating last night to the moment you start eating the next day. You've already fasted probably 8 hours already. And to affect your health, you probably only need to fast like 12 hours. I mean, if you eat from 7 to 7 and nothing else, you're probably going to impact your health, okay? All I'm saying is maybe you should consider opening that fasting window a little bit more and eating a little bit less, okay? It has helped me. I can already see a change in me. I'm losing weight. My blood sugar is going down. I don't feel hungry, which is a big surprise, okay? Now, I will keep posting videos here to tell y'all what's going on. So I would advise you to subscribe, pay attention, find out what I'm going through. I'm going to tell you some tips of things that have helped me. I mean, everybody's body is different, but some of these tips may help you. I'm going to try to figure out the fast hacks, okay? Let's just say that. I do know one thing right now, I can tell you. You have to have a clean fast, okay? When you're in fasting mode, just like if you're going to the hospital, you can only do water, plain tea, and black coffee. If you learn how to drink black coffee, you're golden, okay? Because I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I just need coffee. And I was afraid of that. That was the thing I was afraid of giving up. It took me about a week to get used to black coffee, but now I drink it like it's nothing. And if you had told me that was going to happen, I would never have believed you. The plain tea, it's okay. I'm used to drinking herbal tea, so plain tea just tastes funny to me at this point. Giving up milk during my fasting window was not that tragic for me because I know during my eating window I can drink coffee, so with whatever, anything in it. So, but I do realize now some things about myself. You don't want to sabotage your own health, okay? At some point you got to realize you got to take control and stop making excuses. And I made a lot of excuses just like anybody else, okay? I love a good glazed donut, and I'm gonna tell you, during my eating window, I can eat whatever I want. Knowing I didn't have to diet anymore was huge for me. I mean, the first time I heard about intermittent fasting, well, not even the first time, I'm gonna say like the third time, because people have been saying this over and over, and I've been watching Dr. Jason Fung, the guy who pretty much started talking about intermittent fasting, which I call scheduled eating because intermittent fasting, it sounds so, it just sounds so scientific. Scheduled eating is really what it is, any way you look at it, okay? And it's less scary that way because the fasting thing freaks people out. But if you schedule your food in an 8-hour window, you can eat just about anything. I mean, think about that. How freeing is that? But you will find that you will start eating healthy food, which was a surprise to me. I started craving salads and stuff. I like salads, but I never really thought that I would be thinking about a salad at any given point. But I think the psychology of it all, that in between the ears thing, once you stop dieting and you start eating what you want, you eat better. You may act like a crazy person for a few days and, act like you're on a cruise or whatever. But after a while, you start realizing that that food does not make you feel good. And you start eating what makes you feel good. Plus, you're going to be fasting and you don't want all that sugar hanging out in your body the next day because all it's going to do is make you feel like you want to eat. And there's no worse feeling. But the second tip I'm going to give you is a really good tip for me. People tend to eat because they get bored. So the best thing you can do for yourself while you're fasting is to be very busy. Plan the day before. This book will teach you that. Plan the day before what you're planning, your goals are the next day. Make your number one goal, like I did, to be busy during your fasting period so you don't think about food, because otherwise you'll keep thinking about food. Who wants to think about food? During the detox time of 28 days, you may actually not lose any weight. I have lost weight, oddly enough, but I think that's probably because I've been very busy. That's the only thing I can think. But what's happening is you're teaching your body to use a different fuel source and to actually burn fat. I mean, burn fat is probably not a good way to express this because that calorie in, calorie out thing is a mirage. It's not real, by the way. But your body will start using fat in your body the stuff you've been storing in your body. Think about that. That extra cushion you got going on is going to become fuel. And that's huge, okay? I need to use some of this fuel. We joke about it all the time that we'll never starve because we got plenty of fat to use. But the reality is you never get to use that fat. You know why? Because you're constantly inputting food. Your insulin is storing that food because it never gets a break, or at least not long enough break, okay? So once you start doing it, you start building your fasting muscle. It's amazing. You'll be surprised that you forget to eat. That's something that doesn't normally happen for me, y'all. It has been a very surprising thing to, I put some alarms on my phone. My husband thinks I'm crazy, but I have alarms on my phone to remind me to eat. Yeah, I've got one at 1 o'clock because I will forget to eat at 1 o'clock. Anyway, yeah, you will be amazed. So, I've talked enough on this video. I really didn't want to go this long, but I have a lot to say. So I'll make some more. Subscribe to the channel and just kind of watch how my journey goes. It isn't everybody's journey. It's my journey. But hopefully something that's happening to me will help you in some way. If so, if it's helping you in any way, or if you feel inspired to start, please let me know. Comment in the comments and kind of let me know what you're going through. We all have this struggle. People say all the time that they would rather, lose weight than become rich. And that's kind of amazing when you think about it. Probably not as hard as we think. We just don't know how to do it properly. So let me know what your journey is, and I'll talk to you again soon, guys.